So, welcome everybody. So nice that we're all here together, and I know a lot of you will be watching this in the replay. So, this is a very deep breath sort of a session that we're going to be having with my dear friend Sarah.
Human Sarah.
Human Sarah. We call her Human Sarah so we don't get her mixed up.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I told my son that when we were having dinner, Benji, I said, she's my friend Human Sarah. And he said, wasn't Sarah human then? And I said, she was. We think she was, but she's not in her body now. So is she a dead body then? He said.
Oh, logic of say.
Yeah. And then we went into a whole thing about reincarnation that became quite interesting. And then we just forgot about the whole thing.
Oh, I love those combos with kids.
Can I just mention I've got some new glasses.
Ooh,
Can you see?
snazzy, aren't they?
I got sparkly bits.
Oh, wow.
I've got two pairs of new glasses. These are my screen glasses, and then I have another pair of glasses that are multifocals, and I have to use them for different things, such as the benefits of getting older. So how are you doing? How are you doing today?
Yeah, busy day at work. Yeah, I had a really strange sensation earlier. I felt really nauseous and really just unwell. So I had to go lay down for a bit, but I've revived. So yeah, really good. Glad to be there.
Thank you. And it could be like a reaction coming up already to the work that we're going to do.
I thought, oh, what's this all about? Because I don't often feel nauseous.
Yeah. I get that sometimes. The first time I ever went to like a Buddhist, I can't think what they call it, but like you sit and you listen to a teaching and then you meditate together, I actually started fainting. Which was a bit dramatic, I thought, reaction to it. But that was very early on in my spiritual career, and there was a lot of transformation that I was about to go through. So I think it was like my energy system was reacting against it already, like going, what's happening? But anyway, so yeah, thank you very much for coming and trusting. We haven't done one of these sessions before, have we? I feel like we have, but we haven't, have we?
No, not like this.
No. I knew we hadn't, but I had to ask you anyway because maybe we did it on the dreamscape level or something.
Well, I've been involved in sort of group sessions with you, but
not like this. So, well, before I start sort of explaining a bit about what we're going to do, I just thought it'd be nice if we introduced ourselves a little bit because there's always people new coming on and people don't know who I am. So I thought I'd say I could introduce myself a bit, and then I'd like to invite you to introduce yourself a bit. So my name's Rachel Goodwin. I've worked with Sarah, daughter of the Magdalene, and Yeshua since about 2006, I think it is. And the work we're going to do tonight is kind of where I started with her. And yeah, I'm going to be going back to it tonight, and that's rather lovely. My background is I did various jobs in life. I worked at a bank one stage, Lloyds Bank Sandwich, which is not even there anymore. That's in Kent. And yeah, and then I went and joined the intelligence service, which didn't last very long, in the Royal Air Force because I realised what a crock of shit it was, excuse my French. and then after that I went and trained as a psychiatric nurse and specialised very much on the emotional healing side of things, psychoanalysis, group psychotherapy, that kind of thing. And then after that, my mum died when I was 26, and that sort of catapulted me into the spiritual world, which I'd completely denied up until that point. And then once I started, it never stopped. And here I am today, going to be 52 in a couple of weeks, and I'm a very different person, unrecognizable in some ways from where I first started. So that's me. Do you like to give a little bit of background about you, Sarah, human Sarah?
I will do. Just reflecting what you said, though, it's like all of those steps are all part of the you, though, that you are today, though, aren't they? They all inform. And I think something we have in common is our work in psychotherapy and in emotional healing. And so that's my background, working and have done for many, many years in mental health. And really came to Rachel's work actually not long after bereavement in my life, interestingly. I think that's what catapulted me. I actually went to Glastonbury and had what I can only call an experience with Magdalene and then Sarah, and then was able to find Rachel's work online as a result of that. So yeah, quite a few synchronicities, which led me to Rachel's work. So yeah, I would say I'm a psychotherapist with very spiritual leanings. And I love all divine feminine. I think that's my journey, both inner and outer, really. Very interested in how the interface between psychology and spirituality.
Yeah, and you've got a really nice page on Instagram and Facebook as well, haven't you? What page? What's that?
It's called The Tiny Temple. I haven't been very active on it recently, but it's got some good stuff on there. It's all my sort of musings, really. But yeah, you can find that on Instagram and on Facebook.
Fantastic. So tonight we are going to be working with the original form of healing, where I started with Sarah. And I literally did this for years and years. And then after a while, I realised that Sarah was actually telling me to work with people in a certain way. And the certain things were coming up over and over again. And from all of those things, I wrote Sarah's little book of healing, which sort of outlined all the things that she'd taught me. But I've never sort of done this publicly as we're going to do tonight. And I thought it would be really nice for people to experience it, because it's a very, very different energy from the other healing work we do with Sarah, which is a system of healing. And it's energy healing in the same way that Reiki is energy healing, and you get initiated to become a teacher. And it is really amazing. And that's what I've been doing like the last 5 years, really focusing on developing that. This is the original work that I did with Sarah. And I was trying to think like how to describe it and what came to me. And I don't know if this will make sense to anybody, but this work that we're doing tonight and like what's in Sarah's book of healing, it's like the soul healing. Whereas the energy system, that's like the spirit healing. That's like Sarah's spirit healing. And this is the soul work. It's very, well, it is hard to describe these things. The best way is really to experience, but it's much more in the body. You go into yourself. There's so much depth to it. And I don't know if it's something I can actually teach people, but I know that we all learn, like when I first started going and having therapy myself, I learned so much from the therapist just by having the therapy. The way to learn these things is by having these things yourself. And what I experienced with Sarah, so I had the experience a number of times with really good therapists that once you sat in front of them, I could suddenly feel myself. I could feel my body. I could feel what I was feeling. I could feel the depth inside of myself that I hadn't felt 5 minutes before I came in the room. And I experienced that with Sarah. And that's why she's so wonderful. Anybody who works therapeutically, she is such a fabulous person to call in, because she just brings that extra something. And of course, it's because she has this energy of oneness. She has this energy of integration. I just want to have a little look. I can see lots of people there. Belinda and Maureen, Mihaela, Pia. Oh, so every session is completely different, because you never know what's going to come up on the day. So there's no one way of doing this, but there are some sort of basic structure to it, and it is all in Sarah's little book of healing, I think, more or less. Have you got any questions you want to ask before we jump in?
Is that me, Rachel?
Yes, sorry.
The general. No, I deliberately haven't asked any questions. I have no idea what you've chosen to do, and that's it's.
Thank you for your trust.
So for those of you watching at home, I literally have no idea what is about to unfurl, but great trust in both Rachel and Sarah, and knowing that it's being divinely placed at the right time to experience something, not only for myself but for the collective and all of our healing, really, because I think that from a soul level, that oneness is just what we want to experience, because we can often be so fragmented, and just to feel seen or experience that feeling of oneness. So important before we travail other journeys. Just be fragmented in other places, won't we? So
absolutely. And the further you go, the greater the fragmentation becomes. So it's really good to like work with this integration stuff before really you get too far along, because you'll save yourself a lot of trouble in the end. So all right then. So I mean, people watching, I just invite you to, also be in the energies with Sarah, and just, allow yourself to observe and experience, really, as we do this work tonight. So I'm going to light a candle to Sarah. That's always a nice way to start. Very, very simple way of bringing her energies in. Okay. So just close your eyes, Sarah. And imagine that we're coming into sacred space together. A sacred circle. And in this place, it can be anywhere that you would like to be, somewhere where you really love being. So it could be a cave, could be a crystal cave, could be a temple, could be out somewhere in nature, could be your garden, could be on top of a mountain, absolutely anywhere, just somewhere that comes to you. Or maybe even just a feeling. Perhaps there's like a really, really nice feeling that you want to fill this circle with. But inside this sacred circle with us, Sarah is coming in now. And Sarah is coming into the centre of the circle. And as she comes in, she is grounding our energy. She's grounding our energy all the way right down deep into the earth. Grounding, 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 grounding. All the way down into the heart, Mother Gaia. And just letting go of any mental chatter as we come into this sacred space together and connecting really down deep into that nurturing energy that is so vital for us to be connected to, as our bodies are made of the earth. We are the earth. And as we connect fully to the ascended Gaia right now, she helps us be really grounded and more present. More present. So feel yourself really present in your body now, Sarah. Taking some more nice deep breaths. Grounding, grounding, grounding. That's it. Just letting go, one breath at a time. All is well. All is well. All is well. And as Sarah grounds us down into the earth below, so she also has an expansive way of grounding us up into the highest heavens. And so you might start to feel that now. It's like the roots are going up, 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 up through your head, up, 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 right into the highest heavens, just as high as your body and your soul and your spirit want you to be connected tonight. And the energy from the highest heavens is gently, gently, gently coming down towards your heart center. And the energy from Mother Gaia is also coming up, down from beneath your feet and flowing up into your legs, up through your body and into your heart center. And at the heart center, at your heart center, these two energies meet. And just imagine just tying them together in a beautiful bow, like tying beautiful pieces of ribbon together. All is well. All is well. All is well. So I'll just let you have a minute there, just experiencing that. Sense of the two energies being balanced in your heart. And while you're being very present with yourself, Sarah, I'm just going to invite you to give yourself a little scan from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And just notice if there's any particular places that kind of jump out at you, where maybe the energy needs a little bit of help or wants some attention. And I'll just give you a moment to do that now. And just let me know when you've found something. You might find more than one thing somewhere. What are you experiencing now?
Just an unbelievable feeling of lightness. Floaty.
I'm picking up something around your head. It feels like it would like some attention brought to it. Just take your awareness there and see if you can sense anything.
Just, I felt like a bird's nest in my brain. I don't know what to make of that.
Well, that's great. I love that. I love that image.
Sorry.
So let's just be with that. Let's just be with that. You've got this image of like a bird's nest in your brain. And just almost like you're breathing into the center of that image, to the center of that energy, that bird's nest energy. And ask it, you know, what are you? What do you want to tell me? And see what it says to you.
I'm getting a really clear image of an egg, a turquoise egg, with like little speckles on. And it's about keeping that safe and nurtured, so that kind of makes sense that it's bird's nest, as opposed to just being bird's nest headed as a derogatory. It's more a seat of nurture or a place of nurture or of new beginnings.
Brilliant. All right, so let's bring this into the center of our circle where we can access a bit more about it. So I'm going to ask you to imagine a cross within a circle. Okay? It's just a very simple image of a cross within a circle. And I want you to energetically travel to the center of that circle and bring this bird's nest with you. Just let me know when you're there at the center of the circle. Great. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a cat or if you have a cat, where they like to do that thing before they sort of sit down, and they sort of turn round on the same spot a few times and they pad their paws up and down. And it's like they're really digging in to that place. I want you to energetically do that at the center of this circle, like almost like be that cat, like turning round and digging your paws in and really, nesting yourself right down. That's it. Nesting yourself right down into that energy. Just take some more nice deep breaths. Now we have this really, really lovely image that you gave us of the turquoise egg and this nest protecting it. But I'm also picking up some tension around this. And I think that's something we can work with now. If that feels something that's right for you. Does that resonate with you, that what I'm saying about the tension around it?
Yeah, it's fragile. It feels delicate. Feels protecting. It's
So let's call Sarah in. And I'm asking Sarah to really directly presence herself with you. And Sarah's energy is very, very catalytic. So the things that we've become separated from in her presence, those separations just seem to disappear. And we can see things clearly, sometimes for the first time. And I'm getting a sense that this is some potential in you that's waiting. And it's being protected, but somehow there's something around it that is ready to be cleared right now, perhaps so that you can access this potential. So I want you to ask for something from the center of this circle. So this place where you've really dug yourself down deep. Energetically, from this place, you can receive all of the healing, all of the information that you need. Sarah's with you, providing all of those bridges that you need. So I want you to ask the center of the circle, what do I need to know? Do I need to clear something? Do I need some healing? Just ask it 3 times. What do I need to know? And then go quiet and just see what comes to you. Okay, so just do that now. And just let me know what is coming to you.
Well, it's just this idea of this egg cracking, and there's a bird inside, but it's just so huge I can't almost handle it. It's so big. I'm just blown away by it. I don't know what to make of it.
And what kind of... Sorry, go on.
It's just a giant baby bird.
What kind of feelings have you got coming up around that?
It's just sitting on me. It's just so big. I don't know how to look after it. It's just huge. It's just, yeah, I'm completely overwhelmed.
Okay. So go back to that place at the center of the circle and ask, can you give me some help here? Can you give me some information? Anything, anything you got for me, and see what comes to you.
Trust. Yeah. Let it go and trust.
So if you were to imagine this trust, Sarah, as like a colour or an energy or in some other way as an object, or what would it look like? What would it be like?
It's a deep purple.
And if you feel into that deep purple, what does it feel like?
Like velvet.
What kind of qualities does it have energetically?
It's protective, it's safe, it's a cape, it's surrounding. It's grounding. It's regal.
So I want you to imagine that regal, deep purple colour, like pouring out from the centre of the circle and coming into your body somewhere, wherever it wants to enter. And then from that place, it's just expanding out, okay? It's expanding up to your head, down your arms, down your legs. Just see it filling every cell in your body. Just breathe it in, suck it in, be like a dry sponge soaking up water and just absolutely like flooding yourself with this energy over and over again. You can't take too much. This is your energy. This is your energy that you're reclaiming, and just really pull it up, just suck it up so hard. I also want you to send it back through all of your timelines, because I get the sense there's a past life connection going on for you here. And so keep that image of connecting to the center of the circle, and just from that place say, okay, send it out to all of my timelines now, past, present and future, and just send out like a deluge of this deep purple energy. Just keep sending it out. Keep sending it out. Keep sending it out. Really strong flow, this regal, deep purple velvet, protective, safe surrounding. All is well. All is well. All is well. And I want you to just go back to the centre of the circle again and ask it, is there some information that I need? Is there some information that will help me to have right now about this, whatever it is? Just see what comes to you.
I'm just getting this. It's not really clear, but it's to do with water and carrying water and weight. Sources of water. It feels like a very strong, almost magnetic pull to water. I can't really make any more sense of it than that. Then it's almost like divining rods.
Yeah.
It's like it's a magnetism.
Yeah. So just try asking it, okay, what do you mean?
Is it water? You buy water. It's a virgin water. Receive healing from water. Something coming through about the vessel being the container and our human body. Oh God, this is so deep. It's really beautiful. And this body that we're in now is the container. If that makes sense.
Yes.
And that return to water is the connection with source. And the fluidity of that, the freedom of that.
That's really lovely. How does that, ask it how that helps you with your baby bird?
Yeah. Just saying it will take flight. That's it. That's what I'm getting. It will take flight.
So I'm just going to tune into Sarah. It's funny, I'm getting some images of when I was in Hawaii. there's a book that I've read about fire and water and the spiritual qualities of them by Omraam Mikhail Ivanov, who was a Bulgarian spiritual teacher who is just incredibly profound. And I think I was working with that when I was out in Hawaii on the Big Island. I have a huge love of water myself, as you know. And there was a place where I went that doesn't exist anymore because Pele, I can't think of the right word, but the lava flow has covered it from when it was, coming out a few years ago. But there was this place where water came up from geothermal springs, and then water came from the sea, and it filled this pool up. And it is one of the closest things I've ever experienced to heaven while I've been on the earth. And so that thing you're saying about like going back to source, I totally get that. Like, not so much with my mind, but like energetically, I understand what you mean when you say that. So that's the first thing that comes to me. And then, hang on, let me just tune into Sarah again. So there's something about dissolving back into source that is going to help you with working with this part of yourself that is showing itself as this baby bird that you feel really overwhelmed by, because of course that's another aspect of yourself. And it's the egoic self that gets really overwhelmed. It's our personalities that just go, oh my God, I can't cope, and gets wrapped up and things get really, really, really complicated. But that experience of like dissolving into source is a way of counterbalancing that. And that's what I was trying to work with you when we came in, because like I could feel the nest that you're talking about. There was a lot of tension around it that felt like a lot of headaches, to be honest, and a tightening against it and fear, really. And it feels like this magnetic, etheric quality of water can really help you access that potential inside yourself, because this is some huge power inside you that wants to come out. That baby bird wants to learn how to fly. It's like, don't keep me in the nest. Yeah, so maybe there's some ways where you can draw on that, because we look at water and just think, oh, it's water. But when you work with water on a magical level and on an energetic level, it's incredible. It's so powerful. And so, it's part of the divine. And so this is the element that's stepping forward to say to you, I'm going to be the thing to help you through this in whatever, your own special ways of working with it. So just ask the water now, where do I start? Give me one thing where I can start from and see what comes to you.
I can just see a bowl of water and a candle. Just representing having bodies of water near and around. I'm very intentional about that. Taking it with me, whether it's in a water bottle. Just be very intentional about carrying water with me. It's odd. That feels like starting place.
And when you said that image about like having a bowl of water and a candle, I was imagining like you doing some water gazing. Putting the candle maybe where it reflects slightly on the water and just sitting and looking at it.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, just looking at the reflection. It's really looking into it.
Yeah. So just tentatively, I'm not expecting you to just sort of explode into illumination about this, but just tentatively take your attention back to your baby bird in the nest and just ask it, you know, but what part of me are you? What do you need from me? How can I help you? Just see what comes to you.
It's just saying, don't dismiss me. Ignore me. Afraid of me? I won't squash you. Let me in. Yeah, it's asking to come in out of the cold. Should I explain what happened?
I could really feel the energy shifting. Yes, I'd love you to tell me.
So the huge big baby bird just got smaller and smaller and smaller and went back to the egg. The egg went back into the safety of the nest, and it just all really nicely, neatly came back to myself and within. So rather than being this big, heavy thing on my head, huge, huge, overwhelming, like having the weight of the world, it just sort of found its right place.
Where's it sitting now?
Oh God. Oh, it's going to sound really strange. Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't sound strange.
Beautiful turquoise here.
It feels very expansive and very integrated. And I think for now, I think that's a really good place to come back from. So I want you to just let go of that image of the cross within the circle and come back into your whole body, like feel your whole body. And just like have the intention that you're bringing back all parts of yourself with you, coming into oneness as much as you can in this moment right now. Really grounding down deep into the earth as we give thanks to Sarah, all of our guides and angels that have been working with us, and our higher selves and our souls. Let's just have a really good stretch. I'll just give you just have a moment to come around, because I know it's very deep. It's very deep doing this work, and I'll just talk a little bit. You don't have to listen. I'll just talk a little bit generally.
Yeah.
And so the work we've been doing tonight, this is the way that I work because of like all of my training in different I want to say facilities, that's not the right word. I've gone completely right-brained. I'm losing the ability to express myself in language right now. But I use all the things that I've learned over the years, and I'm not trying to demonstrate, oh, you should work like me. What I am trying to demonstrate is what happens when you bring Sarah in. Because when I work with people and Sarah comes in, things happen in a different way than when I don't bring Sarah in. It's very, very powerful. And one of the things that she said in one of the first channelings I ever did was, it was something along the lines of, my father performed many miracles, and I'm here to show you how to do this stuff yourself. And that has come to me over and over again when I'm working with people. Well, when I like I said, I did this for many years working with people. People would have things that they really thought they couldn't shift. And then you bring Sarah in and stuff just happens. Things just dissolve. And yeah, it does sort of have that. It does sort of have that sense of the miraculous. But, I work very much on the mental and the emotional layer in this way. And so she's catalyzing those miracles. But so I don't go into a lot of explanations when I'm working with people, because I don't want them to be thinking with their left brain. But the point of going into the center of the circle, you're connecting to everything that you are from that center, and your soul just sends you all the healing, all the information you need. And my job as the other person in this is just to facilitate that process, and the way I do that is empathically sort of sensing where there's resistance, when things like, perhaps we need to go there a little bit. I'm just sort of intuitively like working with what's coming up. Like sometimes people will say, oh, I just got a tiny fragment, but it's not enough to work with. And like with dreams, you just get hold of that fragment, and then all of this stuff comes out of it. But like when I first started working with this, I was doing it because I moved to Denmark and I couldn't work with clients face to face anymore, because I'd left them all behind in England. And this was before the internet. So I used to work over the phone with people. And so this system developed, and I actually found it was easier to do this over the phone than it was face to face, because I'm just tuning into the energy all the time. And Sarah's like bringing it all together. It's like I didn't need that physical contact. In fact, it was a bit off. It gave me one less thing to be overstimulated by. I could just concentrate on these inner things. And how are you?
Oh, I just feel like I don't know where I've been. Real journey. Real journey. I so deep,
Yeah.
so deep. Yeah, I'm almost having to pinch myself a bit. I really thought that. I thought, oh, because I have got a bad back at the moment. I really thought, oh, it'd be nice to get some healing on that. And I did not anticipate that it was going to be a big giant baby bird. Even what that means. But honestly, it doesn't matter because it was so visceral, particularly that pull to water. That was just so physical. It was so physical.
Mm.
It's mind blowing, really.
Yeah.
When you think it's something that's happening internally, you're not necessarily moving or doing anything, but it could be that physical.
Mm. Yeah, and this is how our soul communicates to us, through this sort of language of dreams and signs and, you know, symbols. And there's so much meaning in them, and you will get more meaning as the days and weeks and months, you know, and sometimes years. Sometimes I find out things like 20 years later, I'm like, finally. You know, I'm sure there's things I'll never find out about, but, you know, it's incredible how much meaning these things have in them. And it's very deep. It's very deep healing work.
I like how you kind of push to say, ask more. What
Yeah.
does this mean? What can I do next? What, you know, really, but that was okay, just to, you know, be clear. What is it you need? And then having something really practical to kind of go away and do after. So it doesn't just stop there. It's now yeah.
Yeah. So this is a process that you can do with yourself. When you've got stuff coming up and you can feel like, oh, so like, I mean, like for me, I can feel something stuck in me, but I don't know what to do. And I take myself to somewhere, usually outside, because I find it easier to work with stuff when I'm outside in nature. And I did that recently, and I have so much resistance to doing it. I think we all do. I know I'm not alone. And I actually went to the woods, and I went there with the express intent of doing this for myself. And I went round and I had this whole trip around the forest, and I was about to leave. And I suddenly saw this woodpecker, and it was pecking its beak, like going mad, peck, 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 peck. And I was like transfixed by this bird, because at the beginning of my trip around the forest, I'd picked up a feather, and it was a woodpecker feather. It was this amazing, like white and black with all these spots on it and really exotic looking. And then it started flying down this path, leading me towards a burial mound. Which I like to go and sit on. It's like a sacred place. And I was like, oh, I was supposed to be doing this healing work and I haven't done it. And this bird's telling me, oh my God, I don't believe myself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's astounding how we trick ourselves away from like doing the work, basically. And I went and sat on this burial mound, and I can't even remember what it was now, but I did that thing. So, you know, so what you do is you feel into yourself and you feel into the feeling. And like I said, this is all in Sarah's Book of Healing. And you really tune into it, and then you take it into the centre of the circle. And of course, you know, like beforehand, you've brought Sarah in, and then you start asking it questions. And like you can ask because sometimes we didn't do that so much because it wasn't so much what you needed, but like you can just ask for healing. Please give me healing, because sometimes it's ancestral stuff. And then these, you know, like for me, I love colour. and like, you know, all these colours, energy will come out, and I'll be sending it all around the ancestral circle. And I mean, it takes about 20 minutes usually. And things like that have been getting carried for lifetimes are just like, oh. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm really happy to have, like, because I haven't done this for a long time because I've been so taken up with other Sarah aspects. And yeah, I'm going to be doing like a group with 6 people in it where we meet 6 times, and each time someone has their own healing. And yeah, I did have some spaces, but I think they've all gone now. But maybe I'll do more in the future. We'll see.
So,
Because I love working like this.
it's so powerful, and it's just it is one of those you've got to experience it. So I think if people, like you say, have a go themselves,
Yeah,
they'll be so surprised.
yeah,
Just such a powerful conduit, really.
yeah. That's it. Because she's there for everybody. You know, it's not just me that she's turning up for. It's whoever asks, and stuff happens. Yeah.
Afraid to ask if you need it.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming. It was very brave of you.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is the thing, is that in any like therapeutic or healing relationship, I ask a lot of other people, and it's so good to remember the intrepid path that it is.
Yeah.
It's so good to put yourself back in that seat of, oh my goodness, can I do this? Can I, you know, do I feel safe to do this? And it is that, like I said, it's trust, isn't it?
Mm.
But it's trusting, ultimately, it's trusting yourself to be open to the possibility. And I think that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. Let me see if anybody's
Is anyone around?
asked any questions. I don't think so. If anybody's got any questions, just type them into the chat box. I mean, sometimes this isn't always as live as you would like it to be, and sort of gets a bit sporadic. Maybe we've stunned them all into silence. Perhaps they've all gone into a deep trance. Let me just see if there's any last thoughts that Sarah wants to share or talk about. I suppose the other thing to say about this is it is this way of working, it's very in the moment, because even when people have something specific that they want to work with, I always get them to tune in and feel what is it that's going on at the moment in me, and then we work with that. And it might get related to whatever it was that they came with, but I work like this because if you've got stuff that needs to be worked with, it'll come up in that moment. And that's the bit that needs working with first. And it's a bit of a safeguard as well, because then you're not jumping into stuff that someone's not ready to work with, either psychologically or energetically or whatever. But it always seems to work out and be exactly the right thing. Yeah, in all the sessions that I've done with people, no one's ever gone away sort of going, oh, shouldn't have worked with that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, that was it.
It's got its own inbuilt kind of safety mechanism. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And because when you're working this deeply, you have to have some kind of safety mechanism. You can't just go in doing what you think is right.
Yeah. Means, people having,
Yeah, because I do think this is trauma work, actually. I know we've sort of briefly mentioned that. I do think this is trauma work, and I suspect like what was there, whatever was going on with your past lives, that purple energy, it was trauma. That was deep trauma that has been like separating you from this potential part of yourself to protect you, of course. Yeah. And that's, I really see Sarah as a person. She's like a trauma professional.
Yeah.
Trauma mental health professional, definitely. Yeah.
And we all have trauma.
Yeah.
Part of a human experience.
Yeah.
Difficulty of being in the human body, right?
Yeah. So, Maureen says, thank you for allowing us to witness this. Yes. Thank you very much, Sarah. Human Sarah.
Oh, thank you. That was just so powerful. What a gift.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any more like insights or you want to share anything. I'll be interested.
What unfolds?
So, lots of blessings, everybody. We'll see you another time, and yeah, have a nice evening. Looks quite light there still in the UK. You've got an hour's more light than us, I think.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's a lovely evening. Yeah, and for those who are watching and who are live now or watching on replay, then I would really recommend doing that exercise. If you haven't already, getting the little book of healing there.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I put it on offer actually until the end of July. What's the date today? Can't remember. Because there must be a few more days of July left. Anyway, it's on Amazon. And it's, I think, 30% off.
Yeah, go get it if you haven't got it.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Have a nice rest, Sarah. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Oh, you're welcome. Love you lots.
Love you too.
Bye. Bye.